How do we actually build the workspace of 2020? And it's a great honor to be able to follow someone like Ruben. I've been involved with workspace transformation for a good few years, and what I really found is there's a fantastic community going around it, and I think we're lucky enough today to have 3 people that I've seen present over the years join us today at the presentation. So Ruben being one of those, Simon Townsend, who was last year's presenter on workspace transformation, who is CTO for Ivanti, and Peter von Oven, who is with Liquidware, who is co-author of 2 books that I've written with him. And it's really interesting, and one of the reasons I like it is IT, when you're looking at infrastructure, it's one of those thankless tasks. When you get something right, when you get it really right, you get no thanks. You just get that kind of satisfaction that you know that it's working well, that you know it hasn't gone down in X amount of days, and you know no one's complaining. But what I believe is if you get workspace transformation right, you can actually see the change. You can see the increase in productivity. You can see the increase in energy that the employees will use. And certainly when we've done projects for customers and we've put technology with end users and we've wanted to understand, does the technology work for them? Is it configured right? And they refuse to let go of it, you understand that you've probably done something right. And I think we're in this kind of biggest challenge at the moment, as Ruben said, that everything is changing. There is a mass shift from one side to the other. So what I need to try and do is deliver a vision of how do we start getting to the workspace of 2020. And I don't think I could do it all. So we're focusing on a few key areas. One of those, obviously, with today's theme is how VMware are getting there with Workspace One. So at the moment, we're kind of bridging 2 worlds. So we've got the Clifton Suspension Bridge here. Joe mentioned it earlier, and he said it was quite he thought Isambard Kingdom Brunel would be proud as he drove over it in a Tesla, kind of bridging those kind of 2 generations of innovation. So we're kind of bridging from the client-server era, where that was 2010 on Ruben's presentation, to that mobile cloud era as we move forward. But realistically, we're neither here nor there at the moment, and we're all on a journey. And it isn't something where we just need to buy something, click a button, and it's all done. It's going to take a lot of energy. It's going to take a lot of passion. It's going to take a lot of hard work. But for reasons of security, we've got to do it. Because if we just sit back and go, look, I'm the infrastructure guy, I don't really care about desktops. We buy desktops, give them to users, and I fix them when they come back in, they are going to start going somewhere else. As we have seen with some of our customers, when we've spoken to the end users, if they don't like the mobile phone that you give to them, they get their personal mobile phone out of their pocket. If their laptop's broken, or the application they wanted to use on it is broken and they don't like it, they'll download something from the App Store and start using it. You will lose control of the data, lose control of the applications. So the only way that we're able to beat Shadow IT, which is effectively what that's referred to, is by being better than Shadow IT. If we deliver a service that the user actually wants to use, that problem of Dropbox, hands up, how many people have had to speak to someone about a use of Dropbox in their business? Nice show of hands. The rest of you, I would ask the employees if they're actually using Dropbox, because they probably don't have a business account. It may not be as secure as it needs to be. How do you beat the problem with Dropbox? And I can guarantee it's not go to the firewall and block Dropbox. Because the first thing they will do is they will go and find Box.net, OneDrive, another solution to be able to go and do that. Or they'll just do it when they're at home. When they're working from home, they'll use the Dropbox, or they're tethered to their mobile phone. The way to beat Dropbox is to deliver a service that the user wants to use and can use that is better than Dropbox. Or admit that Dropbox is actually the right solution, sign up to the business plan, and actually deploy it properly inside your organization. We've got that theme happening more and more at the moment, and I am probably one of the worst people. Computer World's going through a large amount of security certifications at the moment with the industry we're in. We've got to be at the pinnacle of what we're doing, and I'm probably the worst person, because if I want to do something, I download it. Recently, I've admitted to taking the local admin privileges off of my laptop, because I was the one that was last standing there. Well, I want to be able to install my applications easily. I don't want the pain around that. But we've got to change. We've got to be able to do things differently. And the problem is with these applications, if I'm struggling, I should be using Microsoft Project to plan my workload or something like that, because that's what you IT have provided me with. But then I go and see Asana, and it's really simple. It's really easy. What am I going to do? Am I going to carry on working in a way that is really monolithic and troublesome and carry on doing it? Or actually go, actually, I can be more productive and start using Asana. I don't really care if IT want me to use it or not. So we need to make sure that we are understanding of the user's need. And as Joe Bagley said, we need to start with the user. So the imperatives of workspace transformation are start with the user, deliver a workspace that the employee actually wants to use, that IT can support, and that business can afford. There's no point sitting here with a dream of transformation when knowing that you've got a shoestring budget and you've just agreed to give everybody a desktop with 24 gigabytes of RAM in it, with a massive vGPU, with any application. We've got to work within the remits that are provided. I urge you to focus on the application and the data and not the desktop. If you are still focusing on the desktop, other than maybe moving to Windows 10 as an underlying layer, you're not focusing on the right area. And we should be, wherever possible, looking to focus as to how we can disconnect those areas. Your application should be a separate entity to your data. And the desktop is simply an engine that allows you to run the application that you need. And moving forward, the web browser becomes that platform, not the operating system. But alongside the cockroaches, we've still got those Windows legacy applications. We need to make sure that we're preserving business confidentiality, integrity, and availability of business data, not all business data. We need to make sure we're achieving that. That's one of our primary goals as IT specialists. So, VMware Workspace One is a set of tools that aims to be simple for the user, but secure for IT, and this is the dream. When we can deliver something that is simple, that the user actually wants to use, and secure, that's when we are in the good place, where we've got that correct balance. I'm not up here saying that Workspace One is the only solution. And I think that's the thing with workspace transformation. There is not a one-size-fits-all solution. And that's why you see so many vendors in this space, because everybody works in a different way. Every organization works in a different way. This is just, I believe, one of the fantastic ways to use it. And there are components you might like with inside it. Or you might be able to look at the Microsoft stack that may offer similar advantages. We want to make sure that we can use any app, wherever that will be, on any device. And identity is really, really critical to what we're doing. As Ruben mentioned, effectively, when all of your applications and your data were inside your data center on premises, your firewall was the perimeter security, all the perimeter security you needed. Because you knew if you got that firewall correct, no one could break in and get your data. Well, here's some news, guys. Your data is no longer inside your firewall. So if your firewall is still your perimeter security, you've got a problem. I'd ask yourself one question. If you get a phone call now and you just find out that an employee has gone AWOL, they are starting to delete data, there's problems, they've just been fired, how confident are you that you could go to one place and block that user from accessing any business data? Now, when we were all on premises, when we managed the applications, we managed the data, that was relatively easy. We went to Active Directory, clicked a button, and off we were. As we start to deploy more and more software as a service, as Shadow IT creeps in more and more, the ability to block a user from absolutely everything that they should be able to access becomes more and more difficult. Workspace One is available over a variety of different devices. It aims to give your users a single place to be able to access their applications, and it offers IT the ability to be able to secure it. It looks to introduce tools that the employees actually want to use whilst they are securing them. One great example is Boxer. So Boxer is an email client. VMware went out there, they purchased AirWatch. AirWatch had an email client available. It was pretty crap, and it was holding them back. So what they wanted to do is they needed a secure email client that allowed them to control email, that allowed them to control the context of what could be done with data that was being sent in and out, but also should be able to improve user experience. It should offer the ability to swipe left to archive automatically, swipe right to do a certain set of tasks. They looked at what was best in the App Store, what was available, and they went out and purchased that company and then chucked a ton of resource at it to integrate it and make it even better. And that's one fantastic example. From an IT perspective, we need to look at the configuration, we need to look at policies, we need to be able to patch our desktops. The desktop is still there, the device is still there, we still need to manage it, we simply can't forget about it. I personally believe we need to start treating the device in a bit of a different way. I think it's got a pretty luxurious lifestyle at the moment. You buy an employee device, it gets added to Active Directory, it's then seen as a trusted device for some reason, and it ends up being able to swim around with all your other devices on your network and pass lurgy from one to another. I think we should be moving past that. I think we should be moving to an area where the device is not trusted. Why do we still have this concept of a LAN, that if someone is on it, they're in a secure zone? We should be look to making that device secure by design. We should look to allow it to connect equally, whether it's internal or external. Now, I think that's still pretty radical thinking to tell you that you're not going to need a LAN apart from your servers and treat everything like it's on the edge. But I think that's where we all need to start getting to, really. The change we need to see is that all of these devices, whichever the ones, including the PC and the laptop, is actually a mobile device. And the reason behind that is Windows 10. Windows 10 was designed from the ground up to be treated like a mobile device. It has a set of APIs that can be fully managed by the mobile device management platform that you're using to manage your iPhones. We need to be treating it in a different layer where legacy traditional PC management applications will struggle. And that will be for a number of different reasons. One of those may be, how does it work when it's not on your LAN? So maybe you've got a team of traveling salespeople, and when they're not in the office, you can't patch it, you can't update it. How can you remote wipe your PC if it was stolen? You've just got a phone call saying that a laptop was left on the train, you need to remote wipe it some way. Hopefully it's encrypted, but you want that last thing that you've been able to say it was remotely wiped, the data wasn't even on it anyway. For most people, they can't, unless it was maybe on the network. We need to have that flexibility to update it, to patch it, to back it up, to be sending updates down to it wherever, whenever it is. And this is where Windows 10 comes in with a fantastic set of resources that it's got in it. It's constantly being updated. It causes us a load of problems, but it is also giving us a load of flexibility. I highly recommend that you speak to Ollie again. I've called Ollie out a number of times. Ollie, wave at the back again. Getting used to wave lots today. And talk to Ollie about Windows 10. Ollie is one of our Microsoft consultants, and that's where he comes in with the Office 365 and the other bits we spoke earlier, and understand how Windows 10 may be used in your environment. But the new standard needs to be always connected. We need to be able to protect wherever they are. We need to be able to apply updates wherever they are. WannaCry is a fantastic example. We learned back in May that there was a problem, there was a weakness inside Windows. It was patched. WannaCry outbreak happened, and so many machines were affected because they hadn't been patched. Now, just because you were unable to get to the machine, it shouldn't mean that you shouldn't be able to patch it. So we need the ability to be able to go out there and do that. And we need the ability to be able to update it wherever, whenever. So this is what Workspace One looks like. I was going to do a demonstration, but I haven't got enough time. What we're doing is we're also doing a Workspace Transformation Experience Day. So anyone that wants to try and understand how they can use some of the technology in their organization, wants to learn more about Azure, identity management, Office 365, how to enable their users, again, on your feedback forms, indicate that you want to come to that. We've got room for about 10 people maybe. And last one, the feedback was from some of the people in the rooms was it was one of the best roundtable events that they've attended. So let us know if you'd like to come to that, and we will do full demos and also give you some desktops to take away and play with yourself from Workspace One. The idea here is, as I look through this, and you'll notice some of the icons here from Ruben's slide that you put up, I've got access to legacy desktops. As much as I don't like Windows, I still need to be able to access Windows to access some of my legacy desktops and do some of the things I need. We've got things like websites, software as a service, where I can single sign on, no matter which device I'm on, into the software as a service websites. We're also able to present applications via Horizon or Citrix into this platform as well. So it should be one place where the user can go in, they find their applications, irrespective of whether they're software as a service, published applications, or on a virtual desktop, no matter which device they're on. IT can fully manage it, and it integrates with AirWatch behind the scene. AirWatch being the top right of the Gartner Magic Quadrant for enterprise device management, so you can fully manage, protect, create policy around the devices that are using it, including Windows 10, patch management, locking it down, and all those other good things. Or, as Ruben put up, what does your desktop need to look like? If you start embracing this technology, do you actually still need to use Windows on your device? And this is a journey that I've been on for since VMworld, so it's nearly a month ago now, I, for the first time in the last 9 years, ditched my iPhone and went out and bought an Android phone. It's a bit of a tablet rather than a phone, to be honest. But I bought the Note 8. And the reason was, I was starting to get a bit bored with Apple, a bit of same old, but I still love them, still love the iPad and those bits and pieces. But I could see that this technology may work for me. All of my devices, I'm a bit sad, but no matter what I go out and buy, it's actually a device so I can work better, so I can be more productive, so I can maybe be more creative. And what I saw with this device is it would allow me to connect to anything. It could be treated like a true desktop. So this is my phone that I'm using here today, plugged into the DeX docking device on my desk at work. And this is my desktop I use 9 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. I can use WhatsApp on it. I can use Snapchat on it because they're all built into it. It's Android. It doesn't matter. So I can continue that communication that I use anyway. And with Workspace One, I can use native Android applications, the software as a service applications, the Windows applications. I use Visio on my Android phone from a Horizon desktop on the back end. Or if I need to be engrossed in a lot of Windows applications, I can connect into a VDI desktop as well. That's my choice. I'm not suggesting you go and implement all that for your users. But your users will make choices as well. They may want to use an iPad that they've invested in. They are using it today, whether you like it or not. So maybe we can deliver it in such a way that they want to be using it. VDI, I haven't spoke a lot about it. It is one tool that can help you deliver those legacy applications to a more modern platform. And as Ruben mentioned, it's now capable of almost anything. I know some of you in the room are using it with CAD-based applications now and GIS applications. This is a 3D turbine demo that we can show you that shows the true possibilities. So if you've looked at VDI and go, it doesn't work with my use case, well, now it can be cheaper than ever before with thanks to technologies like vSAN, and with thanks to technologies such as virtual GPU, we can do more on it than ever before. So I'd like to invite Ruben back up onto the stage at this time. And this, I'm sure Ruben knew about it, but I didn't know about it when I kind of asked Ruben to join us at the event. So I've known Ruben for a while. Ruben used to work for a consultancy firm based in the Netherlands, and then we're at Atlantis in the CTO position. He told me, Barry, I've left my last position. I'm moving to Frame. You've probably never heard of it, and you will in the future. I'd still like to come to your event, though. And I kind of went, that's a bit odd. Why is Ruben gone to this company that I never heard of? VMworld came, and then I, all of a sudden, started to realize why Ruben had moved over to Frame. So could you tell us a little bit about Frame, why you moved?
Sure.
We've only got 10 minutes or so, but let me pass over to you.
Just keep it short. That's best, right? So I'm not sure. Did you pick some slides as well? Just this slide, Barry.
Slides are on there.
Okay. So don't need a clicker. Easy. So Frame is actually running any enterprise, you could say, Windows application in a browser. With any, I mean any. It could be Notepad as a very simple application, or an Esri Remote View Pro 60 frames per second in a browser without installing anything on the client. No client component, no agent, no plugin, no nothing. Out of the public cloud. So we use a Frame as, you could say Frame as platform as a service. And you can drop your Windows app, could be a very simple app, could be a very complex app, could be a very graphical intensive app, could be not graphical intensive app, and you drop it into the Frame platform as a service, and we handle everything. We have our own remoting protocol, abstraction to EAS, metering, identity integration, network integration, storage integration, all these things you need with apps is what we deliver as a service. It's that simple. That's what Frame is offering. And the announcement at VMworld was, or is actually, a solution in tech preview called Workspace One App Express. As Barry mentioned, Workspace One is a set of solutions, very well integrated. It's Identity Manager, it's on-premises virtual desktop infrastructure, it's on-premises remote desktop service as an example, also from the cloud as an example. And why did VMware team with Frame? That's a very interesting question, actually. And the reason is that they see a gap, or the other way around. They see more opportunity, they see new use cases, new business cases working together with Frame, because we are built from day one with public cloud in mind, so we can leverage hyperscalers like Amazon, like Azure, and all the regions they provide. So it's really elasticity and really simple. And its pricing is utility-based pricing as well. So suppose I have a set of high schools as an example. They want to teach Photoshop 3 hours a week. Just pick a random number. That's utility-based pricing. And we provide a platform to provide that to VMware, and VMware brings the Frame engine in Horizon One App Express. So Horizon One App Express is a VMware solution, and the engine of that race car is Frame. That's simply said. The background of Frame is we have a lot of ISVs, Adobe, Autodesk, Esri, SolidWorks, these kind of vendors. They're using Frame as a platform to deliver their mostly high-end applications to their business consumers. There's all kinds of government organizations using Frame, and since a year or so, I see more and more enterprise customers using Frame as well, with high-end applications, with normal applications. Because many people are moving to public cloud step by step, and they say, how can I deliver my legacy Windows applications as a service to my business consumers? And of course, there are other vendors in this space as well. But these are not born in cloud. We are 5 years ago. This company started 5 years ago with public clouds as a starting point. And that is a complete different view on how you design and how do you deliver a product born in the cloud instead of like not born in cloud. So that's, I think, more than enough about Frame. And if you want to play around, if you want to see, by coincidence, I spent some time with I think your partner on the virtual reality side, and I was just interested in what they were delivering, and he asked, maybe he's in the room, I don't know, but he asked, hey, where do you work? And I said, well, I work for Frame. I know you guys, because in an AEC firm, in an architects and engineering construction firm, they are using Autodesk tools, and they are really enthusiastic about Frame. That's not made up. It's really what I heard an hour and a half ago. So awesome to see. Cloud plus workspace is Frame. That's a good summary. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ruben.
Yep, welcome.